They humiliated her on graduation day. They didn't know her father was watching. Graduation day is supposed to be a celebration. It's supposed to feel like victory, like survival turned into triumph. But sometimes, the worst humiliation of your life happens on the very day you're supposed to feel proud. And sometimes, the people who think they've won have no idea who just walked into the crowd. Stay with me until the end of this story, because what happened that morning didn't just change one girl's life, it changed an entire school. Before we begin, if you believe bullies should always face consequences, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. Have you ever seen karma arrive at the perfect moment? Now let me tell you about Olivia Bennett. The morning sky was painfully bright, too blue, too cheerful, too perfect. Olivia adjusted her graduation gown with shaking hands as she stood near the entrance of Crestwood High School's football field. The cheap fabric clung awkwardly to her shoulders. The cap felt too tight against her head. 4 years of surviving. Not living, surviving. She told herself to breathe. Just walk across the stage. Take the diploma, smile, leave. That was the plan. The bleachers were packed with families holding balloons and flowers. Phones were raised high. Parents waved excitedly whenever they spotted their children. Olivia scanned the crowd automatically. Her heart dropped. He wasn't there. Not yet. Her father had promised he would try to make it. He always said that. And he always meant it. But being a military officer didn't come with flexible hours. It didn't pause for birthdays, or recitals, or school ceremonies. When she was younger, she used to cry when he missed things. Now she just swallowed the disappointment quietly. Behind her, laughter cut through the air, sharp, familiar. She didn't have to turn around to know who it was. Chloe Whitmore. Perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect social media life, and a cruelty so effortless it almost looked elegant. Chloe and her 2 best friends had ruled Crestwood since freshman year. They didn't need fists. They used whispers, screenshots, rumors, isolation. Olivia had been their favorite target. Poor girl, weird girl, military charity case. Where's your hero dad today? Chloe had once sneered in the cafeteria. Saving the world again? The laughter had echoed for weeks. Now, as Olivia stood in line for graduation, Chloe leaned toward her friends and whispered something. They all glanced at Olivia, then laughed. Olivia stared straight ahead, almost over. Just a few more minutes. The principal began his speech, talking about bright futures and unforgettable memories. Olivia nearly laughed at the irony. Unforgettable? Yes, but not in the way he meant. She remembered being tripped in the hallway during sophomore year. She remembered fake Instagram accounts posting edited photos of her. She remembered eating lunch in the library bathroom stall to avoid the cafeteria. She remembered teachers seeing everything and saying nothing. Names were called one by one. Students walked across the stage to loud applause. Chloe's name echoed proudly. Her family stood, cheering wildly. When Olivia's name was announced, the applause was polite, thin, scattered. She stood anyway. She always stood. Step by step, she walked toward the stage. And then it happened. As she passed Chloe's row, a foot shot out. Fast, calculated. Her heel caught. The world tilted. She fell hard. The impact knocked the air from her lungs. Her graduation cap flew off. A ripple of gasps spread across the stadium. Then came the laughter, loud, cruel. Chloe's laughter was unmistakable. Before Olivia could fully rise, something hit her side. A quick kick to the ribs. Not enough to cause serious injury. Just enough to humiliate. Tears blurred her vision. Teachers rushed forward too late, shouting for order. Phones were everywhere now. Recording, capturing, broadcasting. Olivia pushed herself up slowly, dirt staining her gown. The principal leaned toward her, whispering urgently, "Are you okay?" She nodded. She couldn't speak. She walked the rest of the way across the stage with burning cheeks and trembling hands. She accepted her diploma and walked off. Behind her, Chloe smirked, victorious, or so she thought. Olivia returned to her seat, chest aching. She stared at the ground. She didn't see him enter. He moved quietly through the crowd. Simple dark jacket, straight posture, calm, controlled presence. People instinctively shifted aside as he passed, though they didn't know why. His eyes scanned the field, searching, and then he saw her, sitting alone. Shoulders shaking, gown stained with dirt. Something inside him locked into place. Colonel Ryan Bennett had faced hostile territories, lead men into dangerous operations, and survived situations that made most people freeze. But nothing compared to seeing his daughter humiliated. He had missed too many moments in her life. He had promised himself he would not miss this one. He watched carefully. He didn't rush. He assessed. Training never leaves you. Olivia wiped her eyes and finally looked up. Their eyes met. For a moment, she thought she was imagining it. Then she saw him clearly. "Dad," she whispered. He gave her the smallest nod. The one he used to give her when she was afraid of thunderstorms as a child. "I'm here," the ceremony continued. But Ryan was no longer just a spectator. He had seen the videos. Students around him were replaying the fall on their phones, laughing, whispering. He noted faces, names, behavior. He walked calmly toward the administration section. The principal spotted him and stiffened. "Sir," he said nervously. "I'll keep this simple," Ryan said evenly. His voice was quiet, but it carried authority. "What happened to my daughter?" The principal hesitated. "It was an accident." "No," Ryan interrupted calmly. "It wasn't." There was no anger in his voice. That made it worse. "I saw the kick," the principal swallowed. "We're reviewing. Review faster." Ryan didn't raise his voice. He didn't threaten. He simply pulled out his phone and opened the school's website. "I have already forwarded the footage to the district superintendent," he said quietly. "And to a family attorney." The principal's face drained of color. "I'm not here to make a scene," Ryan continued. "I'm here to ensure this never happens to another child." He glanced toward Chloe and her friends, still whispering. "They're minors," the principal said carefully. "And my daughter isn't?" Ryan replied. Silence. "Bullying resulting in physical harm is not a prank," he added. The superintendent, alerted by multiple parents who had seen the fall, was already on his way. Within 30 minutes, the mood had shifted completely. Chloe's smirk faded when she saw administrators approaching. Phones were requested, videos reviewed on the spot. The footage was clear. The trip, the kick, the laughter. There was no ambiguity. Chloe tried to laugh it off at first. "It was just a joke." "No," the superintendent said firmly. "It wasn't." Consequences came swiftly, publicly. Graduation privileges revoked. Formal investigation opened. College acceptance letters placed under review due to conduct violations. Parents called. The crowd buzzed with shock. The same phones that had recorded Olivia falling were now recording Chloe's pale face. Ryan walked back to Olivia. She stood slowly as he approached. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "For what?" he asked gently. "For being weak." His expression softened immediately. "You stood back up," he said. "That's not weakness." Her voice trembled. "I didn't fight back." "You didn't have to," he replied. He handed her a small handkerchief. "When you carry strength inside you," he said quietly, "you don't need to prove it with violence." She leaned into him for the briefest moment. The applause that followed wasn't for Chloe. It wasn't for the popular girls. It was for Olivia. Students began clapping. Then more joined, not out of pity, out of respect. Because for the first time in 4 years, someone had stood up, not loudly, not dramatically, but effectively. That day became unforgettable for an entirely different reason. Not because of humiliation, but because of accountability. Chloe's reign ended not with revenge, but with consequence. And Olivia left that field not as a victim, but as someone who survived and was seen. If this story moved you, subscribe to the channel for Chapter 2, where we explore what happened after the investigation and how Olivia's life changed in ways no one expected. Like the video, share it, and comment below. Do you believe bullies should face consequences publicly? Because sometimes, the strongest protection doesn't come from fighting back. It comes from someone finally standing behind you. And sometimes, the hero doesn't arrive loudly. He simply arrives on time.